Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, June 29th, 2020. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Over the weekend, news broke about plans to liquidate regional airline Liat. The announcement, which was made by Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Browne, on Saturday, did not come as a surprise to many, given the financial pressure that Liat has been under for years. A shareholders meeting was held following the announcement of the liquidation and the possibility of a new entity being formed. This meeting was chaired by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who on WeFM on Sunday said that it was revealed that Liat is insolvent and the COVID-19 pandemic further put a dent on the cash-strapped airline.
2019, so 17 and 18 were very bad years. In 2019, it lost about 14 million EC dollars. Well, that was recovery of sorts from the hole in 2017 and 2018. And then COVID hit in 2020. Over the period with COVID, we have lost about $35 million. It's a big sum of money.
PM Gonsalves said due to the economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic, Liat was forced to lay off 500 staff and kept 168. PM Gonsalves said Liat owes its staff about $94 million in severance and holiday pay that is unable to make, which is in addition to other expenses such as insurance, maintenance, repatriation of staff and bookings already paid for by customers.
Severance payment in total for all the workers as per the existing collective agreements, which is not necessarily what the law of Antigua will specify, but they're dealing I'm talking the law of Antigua in relation to insolvency. Number may be smaller, but if you're dealing with just the existing collective agreements, you're looking at $83.9 million in severance payment. There are people who have vacation pay, and for all the countries, it's another $10 million in vacation pay. So you're talking about 93.9, call it $94 million. Now, of course, the Liat is insolvent, so the Liat doesn't have any assets to pay anybody anything.
Liat has 10 planes, 7 are leased and 3 owned by the Caribbean Development Bank. Dr. Gonsalves said the future of these planes will be determined by and if an entity takes over the airline.
3 of the planes, which normally say Liat owns them. Liat doesn't own them because the bank owns them, the Caribbean Development Bank. They have a priority charge on them. And the rest of the planes are leased. And in due course they will have to send them back. Unless, of course, a new entity which arises leases them.
Okay.
I'm not getting involved in arguments about if there's a new airline, regional airline, where it is to be located, what private sector should be involved.
Another meeting with the shareholders will be held soon, and according to Dr. Gonsalves, notice will be given to creditors to attend the meeting. Meanwhile, PM Gonsalves alluded to the 2 local airlines, SVG Air and One Caribbean, to help out with air travel in the region due to Liat's current position. He said that connecting flights will be difficult, however, plans have to be put in place for air travel within the region.
Interested in making sure that we have to make relevant connections now.
Yes.
And connections, particularly Trinidad, Barbados, the Windward Islands go right up to Antigua. And I would expect that in the northern part there'd be aircraft operating out of Antigua to make some sort of connections. It's going to be problematic, but fortunately we have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines 2 airlines.
The Prime Minister spoke on the charter services provided by One Caribbean to repatriate Vincentians during COVID-19, which he said was quite commendable. He said he plans to meet with representatives of both airlines to decide the way forward, as he noted the importance of air travel to and from SVG.
One Caribbean has 2 SABs, which are 30 seats each, and a 19-seater. So they have available 79. They have a 1900 D Beechcraft, which is 19 passengers, and they have 2 SABs. So they have what, 30 and 30 and 19. There are 79 seats. And then we want to see what SVG Air has at its disposal. I know they operate Philadelphia Air 4, Twin Otters, and they have other aircraft. Twin Otter carries 19. So I'm focusing my attention on what we can do to help these particular airlines.
President of Liat Workers Union here in SVG, Jeremiah Howard, said that more than 1.5 million EC dollars are owed in severance to Vincentian employees of the cash-strapped airline. Howard, who was speaking on Hot 97 today, said that he will fight to the very end to ensure that workers get the monies owed to them.
We have a legally binding contract. We have the law on our side. Obviously, we would always try to take a more civil approach and so forth. That's one of the main reasons why we are seeking to have an audience with the Prime Minister. We don't want it to be serious. I could say here now that Liat Workers Union, as small as we may be, and you don't hear much about us in civil because basically our bosses are basically in Antigua. But we have had a lot of successes, and I am here as the president.
And you'll fight it?
I will fight it.
Yeah.
Every tooth and nail legally on that, I'll fight.
Howard said all of Liat's staff in SVG were laid off except for the cargo workers. He said while Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has been supportive and responsive, he is not pleased with information coming from Liat's management. The union rep, however, noted that he was expected to meet with management today to address several outstanding issues, noting that some workers have been working without a contract for the past 3 years.
Somewhere in the range of 1.5 million EC dollars.
Right.
That's the severance pay. However, there are some other calculations in terms of holiday pay and some allowances that I think we have negotiated for, because we are actually working without a valid contract. Our contract actually expired since 2017, I think, and so right now basically we don't have a contract. There's been a lot of mismanagement at all levels of Liat, and I know a lot of blame will be going around now, but Liat problem has been like going back from since the early 90s, I should say, even probably before that. So I mean, it's a case where I think the can has been kicked down the road for far too long, and basically what is happening now is basically was inevitable for years.
Howard is of the view that the management of Liat could have done many things differently to save the airline, noting that all suggestions made by the respective unions and staff fell on deaf ears.
We have been in meetings years now, basically with so many suggestions from the staff, from different places from society in terms of even persons in the tourism industry. And basically, I would say that the management just did not listen to us and did not find the right mix basically to get the company moving forward. And I mean, there has been too much intervention basically in Liat. And I was listening to Tukula, I think it's Luca, who said basically, I mean, people would say they're lovers of Liat, but basically everybody has their own agenda. I mean, if you could infer from what the Antigua Prime Minister has said on the tape, you could basically draw that inference that he's basically looking out for Antigua.
In other news, come Wednesday, July 1st, 2020, motorists will be paying just under $10 per gallon for gasoline at the pumps. A notice from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade said Cabinet granted the approval for changes to be made on this date to the prices of gasoline, diesel and low sulfur diesel. Accordingly, the wholesale price for gasoline will move from $9.71 per gallon to $8.86, a reduction of $9.85, while the retail price will move from $10.47 to $9.62. In relation to diesel, the current wholesale price of $8.64 per gallon will be reduced to $7.90, while the retail price will move from $9.30 to $8.56 per gallon, a reduction of 74 cents. Low sulfur diesel wholesale price will move from $8.63 to $7.89 per gallon, with the retail price moving from $9.29 to $8.55 per gallon. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is among 4 Eastern Caribbean countries which stand to benefit from an additional financing of US $15 million from the World Bank to go towards health sector projects. According to a news release, the financing replenishes funds that were redirected from these projects to support the 4 countries' intermediate emergency response to the COVID-19 pandemic. World Bank Country Director for the Caribbean, Tashin Saeed, said the bank provided speedy financing to Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines by allocating resources from existing health projects to fast-track procurements of essential medical equipment and to strengthen medical facilities during the COVID-19 pandemic. He noted that a strong health sector is essential to save lives and build countries' resilience, and that the additional financing ensures that important health projects receive quick replenishment of funds to continue their activities and accomplish project objectives. Additional financing of US $10 million is provided to the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS Regional Health Project in Dominica, US $3 million, Grenada, US $2.5 million, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, US $4.5 million. The OECS Regional Health Project aims to improve preparedness capacities of health system for public health emergencies. Additional financing of US $5 million was also approved for St. Lucia's Health System Strengthening Project, which supports improved accessibility, efficiency, and responsiveness of key health services. The bank said these projects rapidly release funds to support national responses to COVID-19 using their contingent emergency response components. The additional financing for these projects comes from the International Development Association with a maturity of 40 years, including a grace period of 10 years. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment today announces a temporary relocation of the Scion Hill Clinic effective Wednesday, July 1st, 2020. The clinic is being moved to a building located at the first mandatory turn-off point along the road from Scion Hill down Tongue Hill into French's. The ministry said this temporary relocation is to facilitate substantial renovations at the usual clinic site and that the new arrangements will remain in place until further notice. The ministry says it regrets any inconvenience caused and looks forward to the cooperation of the general public, noting that these actions are being carried out to further improve healthcare in the community. It said part of the project is the rehabilitation of the nurses' quarters to accommodate a live-in nurse, and that additional details will be presented in due course. The winners in the 2 categories of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Annual Essay Writing Competition 2020 received their awards at a ceremony held today at the Ministry's conference room. The annual essay writing competition allows students from primary, secondary and tertiary institutions across SVG to submit essays in 2 categories, the Envoys category and the Ambassadors category, on topics relating to diplomacy and international relations. Michaela Friday, a student of the Division of Arts and Science of the SVG Community College, caught first place for the Ambassador category. Second place went to Tiani Pair of the Emmanuel High School, Mesopotamia, and third place Tiana Roberts, also of the SVG Community College. In the Envoy category, the top prize went to Anna Warrican. Second place was Laura Brown, and third place Christy Williams, all students of the St. Vincent Girls High School. Here is a snippet of the top performance in the 2 categories of this year's writing essay competition.
Buenos dias, hello, bonjour. As a 13-year-old Vincentian, I can unequivocally state that there are many benefits to be derived from speaking a foreign language. Being bilingual or multilingual places one in a universally high level of human understanding and affords one a plethora of opportunities regardless of age, gender, or social status. Furthermore, with a total of 195 countries and roughly 6,500 languages spoken worldwide, there is a potential inimical rift in communication among nations.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines makes history, the smallest country to be elected to serve on the UN Security Council. What is the significance of our 2-year tenure? The UN Security Council flag installation ceremony took place today, the 2nd of January 2020. Her Excellency Rhonda King planted the flag of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the smallest country ever to sit on the Security Council. This was reported on the 2nd of January 2020 by News784.com.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Sir Louis Straker encouraged the participants of this year's essay writing competition to remain disciplined and follow their dreams.
That one little word, ambition, would spell it out for you. Young ladies, and most of you here young ladies, don't be foolish. Don't sell yourselves cheap. Don't allow some vagabond to come and whisper sweet nothing in your ears, and then you get pregnant, you have to drop out of school. Fortunately, they take you back into school. In my day, there was no such thing. But it keeps you back. And you may not have the golden opportunity that you should have in meeting a fine young man to get married to. Because for some men, you would be like clothing in a basket that marks slightly soiled. Keep yourself pure, keep yourself dignified, work hard, and success would come.
Sir Louis told the students it was his ambition that made him into the person he is today.
They used to call me old man when I was a young boy, because I always maintain a mature attitude towards life, and I thank God that it has paid off. I don't think there is anybody in this room who was as poor or who is as poor as I was. But I had that one little word in my mind, ambition. And I had to press on. I had to press on. I was never satisfied. I hear students say, oh, I get a pass. I say, just a pass? Satisfied with mediocrity. Satisfied just barely scraping through. I could never. I was a miserable young fella because I could not stand the thought of having somebody becoming first and I was the first in class. I always work hard. My dearest friend in high school is now in Toronto.
Congratulating all of the participants in this year's essay writing competition, Sir Louis said he was impressed by the essays that he read from the top 10.
Let this be the springing board, the motivation, the inspiration, that the next time you are going to enter into a competition like this, you are going to do the best you can so that you will be among those who are counted at the top. I trust that you will continue in your studies and be a credit to yourselves, your community, your nation. Do the best you can. We are all counting on you. A few years' time, my eyes would be dim. My hearing might be not as good as it is now. And all my faculties might be deteriorating because of age. But you have youth in your favor. You have a future in front of you. What are you going to do with your future and your youth.
Ruth Stowe, representing the Kingston Cooperative Credit Union, the KCCU, copped the first place position in this year's National Corporate Public Speaking Competition. In second place was Avia Charles, who represented the National Insurance Services, the NIS, and third place Nicolette Nichols of the Treasury Department. Here is a snippet of the top 3 positions for the prepared speech on the topic Corporate Social Responsibility Plays a Vital Role in SVG.
CSR creates an entitlement mentality. By buying into the constant request for assistance, us businesses create a revolving door for future requests and make persons less self-reliant. As the Chinese proverb expresses, give a man a fish and you feed him for the day. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. By providing government with taxes and persons with jobs, we're teaching them to fish for themselves.
In 2007, a researcher from the United Kingdom, Dr. Hilary Shaw, said, corporate social responsibility is concerned with ethical and moral leadership, being accountable locally and internationally, and building relationships with employees, customers, partners, and communities. Now, globally speaking, this concept of corporate social responsibility is not new. What is new is the extent to which some businesses in St. Vincent
they have no business existing. So allow me to shake the room a little and say that a food basket once a year at Christmas is not corporate social responsibility. Madam Chair, many of our local businesses have failed our society. Nonetheless, corporate social responsibility does play a vital role in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The impromptu category was won by Ellenford Roban Jr., representing the SVG Tourism Authority. Second place was Terence John of Courageous Distribution Limited, and third place Ruth Stowe of the Kingston Cooperative Credit Union. Here is a snippet of the top 3 impromptu speeches.
No idea what happened, but the second son came along. I got into bodybuilding, started, looking real good and stuff, and I was getting a lot of hits on social media and stuff and so on, and at that time I'd broken up with my son's mom and I started dating another lady, and before I knew it, then there were 3.
Cannot be one child that girl has in there. I said to myself, Shanti, how much people you think she'll make? When did they come for labor? And there was 3, Madam Chair. Money has made me be independent, and I'm happy for that. And my love for sailing, along with this money, is why it is me, myself, and is why then there was 3, me, my bag of money, and my yacht. Thank you.
There were 9 finalists in this year's championship.